Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Welcome to my video today. Today I'm going to be using this stamp set, Love What You Do from Stampin' Up, and we're going to be making this card, which is a bit of a step away from my normal style. Normally I'm a clean and simple girl, but I do like to get my daubers out occasionally, and this new designer series paper just made me fall in love with it and think, actually, that needs a little bit of vintage. I'm obviously going to use it for clean and simple too, but yeah, I just thought, you know what, today I'm going to go a little bit vintagey, a little bit spongy. So let's get started with that. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is obviously cut yourself a card base. This is crumb cake, and it is half of a European sized card. So our cardstock is 29 point something centimeters, so I always cut mine in half at 14.9 centimeters, and then you have two card bases that you can then just fold and burnish and pop that into, there we go, a card base. Okay, so find your leading edge, right, that's the front. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create this base piece, and this is again using crumb cake, so we have that crumb cake on crumb cake look, and I have run this through the, as she gets it out, I've got it all neatly stacked here but I can't get hold of it, this is the Big Shot. Now let me get this right, it's a dynamic textured impressions embossing folder, so it's not just a normal embossing folder, it's a dynamic embossing folder, and that's the important word for you to remember, because dynamic basically means that it's extra thick. Can you see how thick that is? That's a good almost half a centimetre. So basically when you run this through your Big Shot machine or your Cuttlebug or whatever you have, you need to take one of the plates out. I only know really for the Big Shot and the Cuttlebug because I don't have any of the other ones. But definitely in the Big Shot you need to take off one of the clear plates. Make sure you don't have your die shim in there either, so it's going to go straight onto your base platform, and then this, and then one plate over the top. And do put the plate on the top, not underneath, because you don't want this getting caught in the rollers as it goes through. And what that does is it creates this, and I hope you can see that some of these, like it shows you on the photo, some of these are less impressed than the others. So this is really deeply embossed, but this isn't, and so it creates that real 3D effect, which I love, and that's what you get from a dynamic embossing folder. Now this is a small one, so it's a normal size one, but they also come, not this particular design, but you can get the larger ones like the ruffled, that comes in a 6x6 square, 8x6x6 square, so it's bigger, but this is just a normal size, so you know it'll fit through your Cuttlebugs, so that's fine. Okay, so then what we're going to do is I'm going to get my Rich Razzleberry ink pad and my dauber, okay, and open that, and then we're just going to take some ink on the dauber and just go around the edge, and however much or little you want is basically up to you. And I kind of did a little bit of, can you see that? I'm just kind of rubbing it across the edge, across the top of the card as well as the edge. So the edge is great, but you want a little bit on the top, and what that does is it really shows up that the thickness of the, you can just get it on top of the leaves or a little bit underneath the leaves, and it really shows them up nicely when you do a bit on both sides like this. Okay, so that's that. Didn't take very long. Just adding that pop of colour wherever you want it. Okay, so, and I like these just stay on your finger, so that's really great. Okay, so next up we're going to attach the ribbon to that, so then we know that that's secure and safe. And I have tear tape here because Fast Fuse has gone. It has left the reservation, and there is no more Fast Fuse refills to be had in Europe. So sadly my Fast Fuse has been relegated to the bin. Well, because there are no fuses. Well, I've got a couple, but that's it. So However, tear tape does work. I don't find it as handy as fast fuse, but I do find it as strong as fast fuse, which is kind of handy. This tear tape, especially just for ribbon, it's definitely, this is our tear and tape roll, but you have to do the whole lifty thing of the tape. But you know, obviously people didn't get on board with the fast fuse, that's why it's no longer with us, which is a shame, because I really love the stuff. But hey, these things happen and you just learn to live with it. Okay, so the next up is this beautiful velvet ribbon. Again, it's in rich raspberry, so all colour coordinates, obviously, because it's Stampin' Up, and it's really soft and it wraps easily around your card as well, so that's always good. And I'm just going by eye, just up there a bit, then I'll check whether I'm straight. No, kind of like that. There we go. So that's that, and then I'm going to just kind of put that onto my card base so I know it's secure and down and not sticking everywhere, because I don't need to do anything else with that. So a bit of multi-purpose glue. I know I switch from one adhesive to another, but that's because I find they're very useful for very different things. So the tear tape is excellent for holding ribbon in place. Snail isn't quite strong enough for some of these thicker ribbons. So you do need your tear tape for that, and then I like to use multi-purpose glue when I'm putting my card bases down, because it gives me a bit of wiggle room, and it's strong enough to hold everything in place. Oops. Ooh. And give you a bit too much wiggle on a, what am I doing? Stop it, Pip. There we go. Okay, right, there we go. And don't worry that this is a bit flappy, because we're going to attach other things that's going to hold that in place. All right, so that's that. Next up is my stamping. Now, you will notice, I hope, that this sentiment isn't actually in this stamp set. There is no "I love what you do," it just says "love what you do." So I have used the other stamp set that comes in this set, in the large gotta have it all bundle for Share What You Love, and it's called Make a Difference, and it has a multitude of letters in it and lots of different wording. So it's got the full alphabet in capitals, then it's got some like double letters, double F, TH, double T, double E, double S, double B, double L, double G. Then it's got all of the alphabet, including 2 R's, which I had to hunt for the second one, but I found it, all the way through exclamation mark, question marks, @ sign, and then first, end, third and th for birthdays. It also has numbers, yes, and it also has another then more like a typeface alphabet and numbers again with all the other bits, plus some extra twiddly bits at the end. So I like this stamp set, but it meant, because it matches with this one, because it comes as part of a bundle, it means that I can take this stamp, Love What You Do, and then I can just add an eye onto the front of it. And the reason why I wanted to do this was because this is actually part of a swap. I'm doing a group swap with my friends from Stampin' Creative, my blog hop that I design with every month. We do a blog hop, and I wanted, we're obviously swapping one with each of the other girls that's on the blog hop, so I wanted to just tell them that I love what they do, because I do. Every month they inspire me and all my customers, and hopefully I inspire them and all their customers, and that's the whole point of us being in our design team. So I just wanted to make that, just that little tiny change, just to make it a little bit unique. So we've got the stamping to do, and we've also got this layering up of this gorgeous paper to do, and this little pearlized doily. So let's get on with that. So I'm going to show you how I cut the paper first of all, because they're actually quite small pieces. So this is a 3 centimetre and this is a 2 centimetre. And if you normally use your trimmer, oh sorry, that's shining, there we go. If you normally use your trimmer, most people who have a trimmer use their trimmer in the proper way, you know, going in and measuring along this side. So if they wanted 5 inches, they would measure to here, and that's 5 inches, or if they wanted 12 centimetres, it's here. And that's great, but when you try and do little tiny pieces like 2 centimeters, it's really difficult to get that lined up. 3 centimeters, yeah, just a little bit better. But actually Stampin' Up have created something that sorts this out, and that's this part over here. If I take those away and lift that up, hopefully you'll see that a bit better. So on this side of the cutting blade, you also have 1, 2 and 3 centimeters in size, and up to 1 1/4 inches if you're doing imperial, with this little tiny piece up here that helps to hold, and down, and the same at the bottom down here, and that helps to hold your cardstock in place. So if I'm cutting 2 centimeters, I'm going to go into the 2 centimeters on this side, keep the long piece on the base which stops it flapping around, go in at my 2 centimeter mark, get rid of my scoring blade, and then just cut up 2 centimeters. And then to do my 3 centimeter one, I'm just going to move it across to the 3 centimeters, make sure it's up against here and up against here, and there you go. So that's just a quick tip on how I use my it also means you don't have to take your cardstock out and then feed it through back again. So actually you just keep going 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and it makes cutting much quicker. So if you're doing multiples, that's really handy tip. But also, even if you're just doing one, it just helps you get a more accurate cut using those side pieces. So I thought I'd share that with you. Okay, so then I'm going to take my dauber on my beautiful paper, and I'm just going to do the edges this time, just because I don't want the white showing where it's been cut. So we'll just daub that all the way around. And notice I've not had to put any more ink on my dauber. Once it's inked up, it kind of lasts for quite a while, unless you want a really deep colour and lots of it to work with. But just to do something like that, you don't need to ink it up again. And then this piece under here, this is using the new doilies. These are pearlized doilies, come in a packet of 24. And they're pearlized because Stampin' Up is celebrating their 30th anniversary, and 30 years is pearl. But I've taken a whole doily and I've just literally chopped it in half. It's really easy to do, actually, much easier than I thought, because I thought they're a bit small. But actually you just follow down one of the lines here and they come in half quite easily. And they're quite thick, so they don't bend or give you too much, don't tear or anything, give you trouble like that. Then I've just taken my dauber again and gone over the bottom of my doily like that. You'll notice that you can also start to see through the pattern, so you could use them as a stencil as well. You know, everything's multi-purpose. And then that just gives my doilies a nice coloured edge that kind of goes with the whole theme. So now we're going to put that together. And I wanted these pieces to stand up here at the back, so I stood this one up on dimensionals, but I did make sure that I wasn't going to be touching the ribbon when I put my dimensionals on, because I want it to hold in place but not actually go over the ribbon, because then that bulges slightly. There we go. And then I can put another one in here for security. Make sure that stays in place. Okay. So now, take those off, pop that round, and I just went at a bit of an angle, kind of there-ish. Doesn't have to be precise, because it's your card, you can make it how you like. Then I put a bit of glue in the middle of this, only in the middle because the ends aren't really going to be attached to anything, and then decided which way up I wanted this, probably this way, and popped that one on there, just a little offset like that. And it looks quite far over, but in actual fact you need it that far over because the doily is quite large, so that has to have enough room on either side. So just be aware of that when you're popping it down. Now the doily is difficult to attach if you don't want any glue showing. You can use glue dots up here, that would work, but also I found multi-purpose glue works just as well. So I just put a tiny bit of multi-purpose glue just on these bits that we're going to attach to the card and then popped it down. Now you actually want it to go higher than the ribbon. Sorry, that's a television reference there. Higher than the ribbon, because you're going to cover that up with your sentiment, etc. So I've cut a piece of Tranquil Tide 2 centimeters by 7 centimeters, I think. Of course, I've got my inches on this side. 7.5. 2 by 7.5. Piece of Tranquil Tide that's going to go behind, and then the actual sentiment itself is on a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and that is 6 by 2 by 3, 6 by 3. So that's going to go kind of there, so it's going to be offset. Yeah, so you're going to have that kind of offset look going on. Okay, so now let's just stamp the words. So again, because it's photopolymer, I can pre-cut my little pieces, get them ready before I stamp. I always have my ink in front of me, because if you have it over to the side or off over here or over here, you do tend to not give even pressure. Like when you're picking up the ink, you're not being even. Okay. Then I need to leave enough room to put my eye in, so I'm going to come just a bit over here. And the nice thing about this stamp is it's kind of wibbly wobbly, so it doesn't actually matter if you're straight or not, because it's kind of bouncy. And then I can put in here the eye. There we go. So there we go. So now I Love What You Do is all ready to go. So we'll just do the finishing touches. Pop these on here. So I layered this up with dimensionals on the back of, did I? Yeah, just dimensionals on the back of my card, but straight on with glue, multi-purpose on the back of the Tranquil Tide, and that means that that holds everything in place behind the scenes for me. There we go. And then I just did a little jaunty angle to cover the top of that doily. Yeah, like that. There we go. And then normal dimensionals for this. Oops, taking the lid off. There we go. One of those. One of those. And I'll just do 3. Oh, reckless for me, just doing 3, but I think we'll be okay. And then this one comes in just... I tried to make it so it was straight with the bottom edge-ish. There we go. And then we finish off with these new Share What You Love artisan pearls, which are pretty. Also match this, obviously part of the bundle. That's why they're part of the bundle, because they match all the colours in the bundle, which makes sense. And then I used 2 of these rich raspberry ones, and I just popped one up on this corner, and then I popped one down on this corner to just bring the 2 pieces together. So there you go. Very quick, very easy, even with daubing and a little bit of vintage look. That's my I Love What You Do card. So I hope you've enjoyed that. You can check out my shop underneath if you want to buy any of these items. They're available now as a bundle, or if you're watching this in June, they're available individually. The bundles will have finished. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed that, and I will see you again soon, I hope. Come back, see me soon. Cheers, bye.